This is a tongue. So last year, I taught English over the internet as part of the gig economy. At the time, it was making me more money hourly than my regular job. And I needed some extra bucks to just pay some extra bills, and have extra money for anything else that I wanted to do.
In the traditional economy, the typical worker works for one company in a long-term, often full-time position. The gig economy, on the other hand, consists of freelancers and independent contractors who work part-time or in temporary positions. Gig economy jobs span from teaching English over the internet to driving for a ride-hailing service to being an independent management consultant. The gig economy has been around a long time. Just look at musicians. But thanks to technology, it has become that much easier for someone, really anyone who needs to get a task done, whether it's business consulting or mounting a television to the wall, to connect with a worker who will do it for them.
A lake is big. I would get up ridiculously early, and for a couple of hours, I would just teach classes. And if there was a day that I didn't want to teach classes or had something else to do, I could just notify them and they wouldn't schedule me for that day. I had heard of people doing it full time, but I didn't really see that as viable for me. I got insurance from my main job, and as a contract position, the gig economy, the gig, if you will, didn't come with health insurance, and I wouldn't be able to get it through there.
As the gig economy continues to grow and shape our economy, we as a country have the opportunity and the responsibility to support our workers no matter what their job might look like. Let's support all workers and enable them to pursue dignified work with a living wage. To learn more about the gig economy, I spoke with my friend Dave, who works for a ride-hailing service.
I started the ride-sharing 2.5 years ago. And the reason I did it is, first, I enjoy driving. And second, I interact with people very well because that's what I do best. And I also do it to supplement my income. So that's very important.
Dave's not alone. An estimated 36% of U.S. workers, or 57 million people, are part of the gig economy. Furthermore, Intuit estimates that the number could grow to 43% of the economy by 2020. The status of gig economy workers as independent contractors can leave them vulnerable in several ways, as Dave explains.
It really comes down to like $9 an hour, which is really below the minimum wage if you really look at it. And I think some apps, what they do is they tell you you make $20 an hour. So how do they come here? I try to figure out how they do that. Because what they do is like, the time that you're waiting for your ride, they don't count that. The time that you go like 3 miles to pick up someone, they don't count that. They count when you pick up the person drop by. Then they add this together. I think that's what they do to come up with $20, but you do not. No one makes $20 an hour.
Low wages and the lack of benefits led many ride-sharing drivers to strike last May, ahead of Uber's IPO. The growth of the gig economy has other startling implications for the future of work. On the one hand, we might be creating an economy in which workers need to have one full-time job for the benefits and a gig just to be able to afford the cost of living. Or traditional economy jobs, to stay competitive, might adjust to offer the flexible scheduling of the gig economy alongside the security and loyalty of current full-time positions. It would be a great way to retain top talent. This makes it more and more important that policymakers consider how best to support workers in and out of the gig economy to flourish. Workers can work and live in a world with a living wage.